So let's have a look at example 55, which is asking us to solve the equation 3 tan x is equal to tan 2x for all values of x from 0 to 360 degrees. 3 tan x is equal to tan 2x. Now, tan 2x can be expanded using the double angle formula to 2 tan x over 1 minus tan squared x. I think that's it. Now, if I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, to get rid of the fraction, I would cross multiply. All right, this looks like it's going to turn it into a cubic equation. So this is 3, 1 minus tan squared x is times what? Tan x, sorry. Let's just erase this. So if I have one fraction is equal to one fraction, to get rid of the fraction, I would cross multiply. So this is 3 tan x times 1 minus tan squared x is equal to 2 tan x. All right, I'm quite sure there's a temptation to want to divide both sides by tan, but let's not do that. It would make life a little easier maybe, but anyway. So I have 3 tan x minus 3 tan cube x minus 2 tan x is equal to 0. So now we have 3 tan minus 2 tan is tan x minus 3 tan cube x is equal to 0. Tan x is common, so I have tan x into 1 minus 3 tan squared x is equal to 0. Now, if you're multiplying two things and you're getting 0, it is either the first is 0 or the second is 0. So it's tan x that is equal to 0, or 1 minus 3 tan squared x that is equal to 0. So here 1 is equal to 3 tan squared x. That divide both sides by 3. 1/3 is equal to tan squared x. And tan x is equal to positive and negative 1 over root 3. Now I know what tan x is. So there are three things. Tan x is equal to 0. Tan x is equal to 1 over root 3. And tan x is equal to minus 1 over root 3. All right, so I think what? X is equal to tan inverse 0, which I think is 0 and 0, 180 and 360 degrees. Here, x is equal to tan inverse 1 over root 3. Let me see if I can remember which angle. The tangent of the angle is 1 over root 3. I think this is 30 degrees. So x here is equal to 30 degrees, first quadrant, and 210 degrees, third quadrant. Because x is positive in the first quadrant and in the third quadrant. The answer in the third quadrant would be 180 plus 30, which is 210 degrees. Over to the right, x is equal to tan inverse minus 1 over root 3. So x here, tan is negative in the second quadrant and in the fourth quadrant. So in the second quadrant, it would be 180 minus 30, which is 150 degrees. And in the fourth quadrant, it should be 360 minus 30, which is 330 degrees. So my answers are x is equal to 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 150 degrees, 180 degrees, 210 degrees, 330 degrees, and 360 degrees. Example 56 is asking us to find the general solution of 3 cos 2x minus cos x is equal to 2. Now I can convert this into a quadratic equation involving cos x only, because cos 2x is the same as saying 2 cos squared x minus 1 minus cos x minus 2 is equal to 0. So now I have 6 cos squared x minus 3 minus cos x minus 2 is equal to 0. 6 cos squared x minus cos x minus 5 is equal to 0. All right, this can be factorized using the ABC method. 6 cos squared x minus 6x plus 5x minus 5 is equal to 0. I'm using the ABC method. I need to find two numbers. When I multiply them together, I get minus 30. 6 times minus 5 is minus 30. When I add the same two numbers, I get a minus 1. The two numbers are, and I saw my arrow, are minus 6 cos x plus 5 cos x minus 5 is equal to 0. Over to the left, 6 cos x is common. We have cos x minus 1. Over to the right, 5 is common. So factorizing, we get cos x minus 1 multiplied by 6 cos x plus 5 is equal to 0. If I'm multiplying two things and I'm getting 0, it is either the first is equal to 0 or the second is equal to 0. So cos x is equal to 1, or cos x is equal to minus 5 over 6. So x is going to be equal to cos inverse 1 So x is equal to, I think, 0 degrees and 360 degrees. Ooh, it's general solution they want. All right, over here, x is equal to cos inverse minus 5 over 6. So general solution here would be 360 n plus or minus 0. So it's just 360 n. Over here, x would be equal to 360 n plus or minus shift cos 5/6, and this is telling me 146.4 degrees. So this is the general solution in example 56. Example 56 is asking us to find the general solution. All right, so the last question we're going to look at today is example 57. We're coming down nicely. I would have really loved to finish this by Sunday, but I really doubt I will finish Sunday. Yeah, so example 57 says solve the equation cos theta plus sine a half theta, or theta over 2, is equal to 1. Now, by looking at this and with knowledge of the half angle formulas, I know that I can express the entire equation as an equation in terms, as a quadratic equation in terms of sine theta over 2 only. Because cos theta is the same as saying 2, sorry, not cos, is the same as saying 1 minus 2 sine square theta over 2. So that's using the half angle formula. So cos 2 is 1 minus 2 sine square theta over 2 plus sine theta over 2 minus 1 is equal to 0. So what we end up with is sine theta over 2 minus 2 sine squared theta over 2 is equal to 0. Because 1 minus 1 is 0, sine theta over 2 is common, so we have sine theta over 2, open bracket, 1 minus 2 sine theta over 2 is equal to 0. If I'm multiplying two things and I'm getting 0, it is either the first that is equal to 0 or the second that is equal to 0. So what we have here is that 1 over 2 is equal to sine theta over 2. Theta over here, theta over 2 is equal to sine inverse 0. Now, please note that the examiner says he wants answers between 0 and 180 degrees inclusive. It's the mere fact that he says that, I know I can only use answers in the first quadrant, because in order to find out what theta is, I'm going to have to multiply by 2. If I multiply something by that is in the first quadrant by 2, it could either stay in the first quadrant or go into the second quadrant. But if I multiply something in the second quadrant by 2, it's going to end up in the third quadrant. So I only need values of theta over 2 in the first quadrant. So theta over 2 is equal to 0. That's first quadrant. And Therefore, theta is equal to 2 times 0, which is still just what? 0. That is over here. Here, theta over 2 is equal to sine inverse a half. Remember, I told you I only want answers in the first quadrant, because in order to find out what theta is, I'm going to have to multiply it by 2. So theta, so this would be 30 degrees. And so theta would be equal to 2 times 30 degrees, which is equal to 60 degrees. All right. So those are my answers. So therefore, theta is equal to 0 degrees and theta is equal to 60 degrees.